Okay. Um, okay, we are ready to start the new parak. Okay, so as a hakdama, it's kedai. I mean, we've had it a few times. The shomer, there's dalid shomer. And this dalid shomer is gonna stick with us for a lot of the masechta. I mean, we get a break after the next parak, but it ain't no break, right? Because it's what?
That's ribis.
Next is the bingo gourmet glatt parak, right? Which is overcharging.
Not this parak, the next parak.
Next parak, not this parak. We have the shomrim is this parak.
Okay, I'll tune out a little bit.
Then and then the rest of the Masechta also has a lot to do with shomrim, but the fourth and the fifth parak prokim. Fourth is about usury, ripping people off, and the fifth parak is about interest. But so we have to try and remember this parak. Anyway, so there's four shomrim. Which we've had quite a few times, but let's just chazer it over. There's four shomrim. I hope I get them all right now. There's a shomer chinam and a shomer sacher. That's a shomer chinam means he's watching it for free. So he's the least responsible because he's watching it for free. Then there's a shomer sacher and a seicher, which is a renter and somebody who's getting paid to watch. Those are both similar. Right? Those are similar. They're like in the middle, and then there's a shoyel, a borrower, who is the most responsible. Right? Now they also have to make shvuas. So this a lot of the Masechta Shvuas. Also, Masechta Shvuas is not about Shavuos. Right? There is no Masechta about the holiday Shvuas. Right? Masechta Shvuas has to do with swearings and when they're allowed to swear. So there's a lot of swearing going on. Fine. So that's with that little hakdama. So there we go. So so if somebody gives to watch a behema or kalim to his friend, and it got stolen or it got lost. So now a shomer sacher and a seicher are responsible if it gets stolen or lost. Right? So Shilim v'lo ratzili shava, so he's responsible, right? But he decides, you know what? He doesn't want to swear, meaning because you always have to swear if he's going to be potter.
Isn't the order reversed? Shouldn't it be lo ratzili shava and then shilim?
Huh?
Isn't it lo ratzili shava and then shilim? First is shilim and then lo ratzili shava. Shouldn't it be reversed?
I hear. That's a good point. You're saying he doesn't want to swear, so therefore he wants to pay.
Right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. I hear what you're saying because maybe in the Gemara it sounds like he wants to pay.
Right? Why does he want to pay?
Because he feels
because he's a good guy, or because he doesn't want to swear.
What?
Because he's a nice guy, because he doesn't want to swear.
No, maybe he feels responsible. That's not possible. That he feels responsible. That maybe he feels he's responsible. Is that a possibility?
If he's responsible, then he's chayiv.
Okay, so that's why he wants to pay. He'd rather pay instead of making it through.
No, here he's potter be'etzem.
The shomer sacher and the seich they're potter.
They're potter from Gnei Aveda, but he has to swear.
Okay, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't want to swear either.
Right,
I'd rather pay. I'd rather pay because even though I'm potter, I feel a responsibility to it. What is that? It's a foreign concept.
No, but that's what David's saying. Is he paying because he doesn't want to swear?
No, I don't know.
We had this in Bava Kama.
Right. So loy rotzi l'shava, and then we l'shilim.
That's not the no.
Yeah, but what?
The Gemara Bava Kama we had asked the same kasha.
Pay, then swear. He walks into the Bezdin. Bezdin says swear. He goes, I'd rather pay, not swear.
1 second. You just said the Bezdin says swear. So swearing comes before the paying. So isn't that the way it should be said?
But he's trying to get out of swearing. So I said, I'd rather pay.
Exactly. So lo ratza lishava. So then shileim.
But that would be if it's it could be a psak. He's coming to Bezdin saying, I'd rather pay and not swear. It's not v'loy rotza and then Bezdin paskin shileim instead. He's coming up with the idea. I'd rather pay and not swear.
Either way, if that was the case, it should be Shileim Dilay Ratzali Shava or Shelay Ratzali Shava.
It says Vilay Ratzali Shava. It says that.
That's two separate things. He was saying it's one thing. Shileim Shelay Ratzali Shava. The Lamais of the Gemara Bava Kama was the same deal as David saying. I can't remember what we learned out of it, but we had that deal because the Gemara Bava Kama.
That said what?
What David's asking.
He just said he can't remember.
Yeah, I remember the Gemara asked it. The Gemara points out that it's two separate things, and we learned something out of it. It's a specific case because it says that.
Yeah, is that so? Bava Kama daf kuf ches. That's it. I just remembered it.
Okay.
Oh, that was it. I wasn't sure if it was Bava Kama, the first paragraph of Metzia, but yeah.
Daf kuf ches.
Yeah. We had this deal there in that Gemara.
Did it say that? Oh, it's a machlokes Abaye and Rava. Yeah, compliments of Masaras Hashas. In case anybody was wondering about my sudden lack of amnesia, but yeah. Anyway, so Taka, it's a machlokes Abaye and Rava. Very good. Very good. Sheesh. But Kuf Ches wasn't all that long ago. My gosh. I'm telling you, it's the most depressing thing. Anyways.
I think it had to be long enough ago for me to forget the basis of the basic Gemara. Just, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. So Shilam v'lei ratzili shava. So he paid and he doesn't want to make a shvua. He's allowed to do that. Because we said that a shomer chinam can just swear and he walks out. Nimtza aganav, now he paid. He voluntarily paid. Now whether he's from guilt, like Rachamim was saying, or because he really or he just doesn't want to swear, whichever it is, but he paid. Now you found the ganav, so the ganav has to pay kefil, our good old kefil. That I remember from Bava Kama. So you have to pay kefil or dalet behei. So nimtza ganav mishalim tashlumei kefil. He pays kefil. Tovach u'machar mishalim tashlumei arba v'chamisha. Right? If he shechted the animal or he sold the animal, he pays 4 or 5. L'mi mishalim. Who does he pay to? L'misha b'kodin etzlan. He has to pay to whoever has the b'kodin, which in this case, the b'kodin meaning is the object that was given over to watch. So who's the one that the b'kodin is by him? The shomer, because the shomer paid for it. Since the shomer paid for it, so he's the owner of it. So Mamela, now he actually gained. The shomer actually gained from this because he paid. He didn't have to pay for the item. He paid anyways instead of swearing. Now, when there's kefel or dalet behei, he gets to keep it. So in the long term, he gained from this.
You see, we normally say, what's the term? It's an isker, but he didn't do an avera, he didn't do an avera. He makes a deal with the thief. I don't know, whatever. It's yeah. I mean, why not? When he paid for it, essentially he bought the right like the owner to it.
Right.
Yeah, we had this exactly like this. We had.
You want to say I don't want you to pay for it? I don't want your payment.
Can the owner say?
They go to Bezin.
Can the owner refuse payment? Mistama not.
But then could he get out of the shvur if the owner, or it's one or the other, or the owner he could say I don't want to swear.
The owner could be Michael the shvur too.
The owner could be Michael everything, and then
no,
he gets.
Didn't we say the owner could be Michael the shvur? The owner could be Michael the shvur. I think.
So then he could say don't pay me, and he gets the kefil then.
He could do that. Yeah, that we'll see in the Gemara. Yeah, that we'll see. We'll see some form of that in the Gemara. Fine. That's the first way. Nishma v'loy ratzu l'shalim. If he swears and he doesn't want to pay, which is also interesting lashon. What do you mean loy ratzu l'shalim? Right? He swears and he doesn't want to pay. Nimtza ganav. Then the ganav found m'shalim t'shumei kevel tov v'chamor m'shalim t'shumei ganav chamishalim. M'shalim l'bala pekodin. It goes to the owner of the pekodin. That's pashut because he swore. So who's the one that lost out? The owner. So now he has to pay the dollar v'hei to the owner or the kefil. Fine. So now the Gemara asks, why do we have to say two examples? If he left kalim and a behemoth, one example would be perfectly fine. Why would you think that the halacha changes? So we say no. We need to say behemoth. We need to say kalim. Ditan a behemoth, and this teretz will give us a little bit of insight into what the lumdus is here behind what's going on in the Mishnah. So tzricha we need it. Ditan a behemoth, because if it just said behemoth, how need a behemoth who demakni like fela? I would say that by a behema, the owner doesn't mind giving over the kefel to the shomer if the shomer pays. Why? Because it's a big headache. It's a big tircha to take the animal, right, and schlep it. But kalim, the loy nafesh tirchayu. But kalim that there's not a lot of tircha. So I would say he's not making the kefel. What's the big deal? Meaning, again, the owner is giving up his rights to the kefil because this guy's paying him. But maybe he's only giving up the rights when it's an animal, not when it's a utensil. Right? V'ton a kalim, and if you say kalim, kalim who the kamakni like fela, kalim is there maknik fela mishum deloy nafish keflai, because it's not kefil. Right, meaning it's not a lot of kefil. It's all it is double. But if you hit the jackpot. Ultimately, if a guy steals your animal and shechts it, you're going to get paid a lot of money. So maybe that much the owner is not willing to give over. So tzrichi, that's why we need to say the case of behema, and that's why we need to say the case of kalim. Fine. So So again, so what's
not giving over anything? He's getting poured out. He's not being mocked anything.
He is being mocked. The rights of the animal and
you
the
gave me
kefil.
your car to watch. It got stolen. I paid for your car. You're made whole.
What?
I paid for the car. I made you whole. You have no rights to the kefil anymore. I made you whole. I paid for it.
Right. We said that already. So we're talking about the case that you didn't give him
it has to
pay
go
for the car.
We're talking about the case that he paid for it. That's what we're talking about, Rachman.
The shomer paid.
Correct.
Right. So if the shomer paid, so the shomer is zacha to the kanas.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. So there had to be a kinyan here.
He paid for it. It's a kinyan.
It's not a kinyan. I'm saying it's a kinyan, but it has to be that the guy's das. It has to be that it's still ba'atzim should belong to the owner. The owner is the one that got the thing stolen from him, right? Who lost the item? Ba'atzim that's from the owner.
But the guy paid him because he didn't trust him. He didn't say you did me a favor, take in and out the animal. I trust you, go scot free.
If a guy finds out that something got stolen, he says, you know what, I feel so bad for you lost, I'm going to donate to you the money that you lost. Right? Let's say the guy decides, a very nice friend of yours, he decides he's going to give it to you. So now, let's say you find the crook and he's paying dollar v'hei.
But that's not what happened.
What's it?
Maybe the chiddush. Maybe the chiddush is that the shomer is zakuk to the item. He's zakuk to it. So the item was stolen or whatever. So there's a zakika there somewhat, and that's why even though if he pays the owner, he's zeicha to the kanas. But another case where Reuben stole something from Shimon, and then he paid back Shimon, and I paid back Shimon instead of Reuben. I don't have any attachment to that. I'm a third party. I'm a gemach somewhere. But meanwhile, the guy who was the shomer, if it was Reuven, was the shomer of the item. So that gives him as a kika to that item, and that I believe that makes him zeicha to the kanas.
Right.
Someone else asking.
Okay, whatever. But let's see, because the Gemara is going to ask now. Let's see. So maskal rami barchama ain't other makna davar shalav eloilam. See, a person cannot be makna something that didn't come into the world. Right? So Rashi says the Baal is giving over the kefil. He's saying if there's kefil, it's going to the shomer. The Baal has the rights over the kefil. He's giving it to the shomer. That's the way Rashi understands. But how could you do that? He's giving something over that doesn't exist. Right? Because it doesn't. We don't know if we're going to find the crook yet. We don't know. Maybe it exists a second it's stolen. That if you that's what you're going to have to say. Well, we're going to have to say the kinyan. There's going to have to be a kinyan somewhere. But how does it work? Ain't other makna davar shalai bala olam. But Rab Meir Damar other makna davar shalai bala olam. And even according to Rab Meir, who says a person is makna something that doesn't come into the world, right? Because Rab Meir holds that you can sell somebody fruit from your tree that the fruit didn't the tree didn't grow the fruit yet, right? Hani going Peres dekel davidi da'asu. That's the fruit of a dekel that they're going to grow. Aval hacha. Now we have a bunch of options here. Aval hacha until Lamadal today's daf starting now. Mi yemar de mignava. Who says that it got stolen? Right. Meaning when is the kinyan happening? When he gives over the pikadon, at least that's what we're thinking now. When he gives over the thing to the shomer to watch, he's giving it to him and he's saying, by the way, it's yours and it's the kefil's yours also.
How can that be happening? He didn't pay for it. If he swears,
so what? You can be marking something to somebody.
But if he swears, who gets it?
Well, if he swears, then the guy gets to keep the kefil.
Who?
Let's see the whole thing. So who says it's going to get stolen? And even if it's going to get stolen, who says you're going to find the ganim? Even if you're going to find the ganim, right? Who says the ganim is going to pay? Maybe he's going to be maida. We know maida v'knas, right? So he's going to be maida, and he's not going to have to pay dalet behay or kefil. So there's so many variables that could happen here. How can you say that? How can you say he's being maknet to him? Right? So Amarava, Nasik, Aimaloi, the way it works is it's as if the guy says to him, the owner says to him, when it's going to get stolen and you're going to want to pay me, then now the para becomes kari to you. Right? It's a whole lumdus here.
And you're
right. So basically he's saying that it's retroactively kicks itself back. If you pay for the stolen item, then retroactively you're going to be kind of it from now.
That's a lot of words to add in there.
Yes, it is.
It is only according to Rameir.
That's not according. No, it's even according to Rameir.
Even according.
Yeah. So then what it says, so then if that's the case, then even whatever gets shaved off the animal, the wool of the animal, or if the animal has a baby, nami, that should also go to the shomer, right? How come we learned in a brisa that says that the shomer does not get to keep the wool and any babies that this animal has? So maybe he should. Right, if he's being makna the animal to him, is a different shot. We have to say it means he told him you're gonna be kind of the animal in order to get kefil or dalet behei, but you're not going to be kind of the animal for the wool or for the kids. Okay, umay paska. So where do you get that he's willing? The seller is willing to give over the kefil and the dollar behay, but he's not willing to give over the wool. Stama de milsa. So the stam thing is shvacha da asame alma of it inish the makni. Shvach of the alma, right? Regular profit. A person of it inish the makni. A person is going to be makni. Shvach of the megufa loy of it inish the makni. Shvach of the guf, a person is not going to be makni. Right? Meaning that's not the das. A person's das is only to give, extracurricular profits, but not the actual profits that are meant to be expected from the animal. That the guy is not giving over. So Igud Amri, some say different shot. Omer of a nasa ka'omer likshetigne v'tirtze v'teshalmeni samach l'gnei vasa knuyila. See, the first shot was that it's going to go me'achshav, meaning it's going to go from when he gives over the animal. That's when the purchase is going to happen, or the transfer of property is going to happen. Rava says no, the transfer of property happens the second before the Geneva happens. Meaning, if you're going to pay me for the stolen animal, the animal is going to be given over to you right the second before it got stolen. Right? So it might be now, what's the difference in the two terutim? So the Gemara answers, Ikebenayu, Kushi de Rav Zera's kasha, which was about the gizas and the vladas. That's not a kasha anymore, because again, according to the first shot, if the kinyan happens right when he gives over the animal to be watched, so then you have a shaila of whether the wool goes to the shomer or the wool goes to the owner. But if the transfer is happening right before the geneva, so then of course there's no tzad that the wool should go to the shomer. He didn't own it yet. So that would be what difference between the terutzim. And the other inami, the kaima ba'agam, if it's standing in a swamp, right? So if it's standing in a swamp, the kinyan can't happen before the geneva. Meaning you can't just say to somebody, "Oh, you'll be kind of right second before geneva." It has to be in the chotzer. There has to be some form of kinyan going on, which you're not going to have if it's standing in the swamp.
Don't you also need chotzer mishnah?
Yeah, so it would have, in a chanami. Right, isn't that what it's saying?
It's not stam chotzer. You'd have to have it in a chotzer where it's mishnah meres. It's not stam.
Yeah, in a chanami. Whatever the qualifications of chotzer would have to be, that's what you would have to have.
So when we're talking about the wool and children, we're talking about what happened while it's by the shomer?
Yes. Sure. Fine. I think Mara says Shilim v'Radal Tzishav, he pays and he doesn't want to swear. So Reb Chia has a big chiddush. When the Mishnah, it sounds like only if he actually paid for it. What happens if it gets stolen and the shomer says, "Don't worry about it, even though I'm potter, I could really swear and be potter, I'm going to pay you for it. I'm going to pay you tomorrow when the bank's open, I'm going to get cash, pay you for it." That night, the ganav gets caught and there's going to be kefum or daleh behei. Who does it go to now? He didn't actually pay for it. He just said he's going to pay for it. So Reb Chia bar Abba says in the name of Yochanan that it doesn't have to actually pay for it. Ela kiman sha'amar hareini mishalem, even though since he said I'm going to pay for it, Abba b'shaloi shilem, even though he didn't actually pay. Big chiddush now. Right, again, he doesn't, as long as he signed what is it called? Something of intent, letter of intent. Right? Since he signed a letter of intent, and again, signing is a good one. He doesn't have to sign it. He can just say it. As long as he says he intends to pay, then he will get the kef. Right? So Tanan, the Gemara asks, Shilim v'lo rotzi l'shava. The Mishnah says if he paid, he doesn't want to swear. Mashma shilim in, loy shilim loy. If he pays, yes. If he doesn't pay, no. Ema seifa nishba v'lo rotzi l'shalim. It says if he swears and he doesn't want to pay, time of the loy rotza. The reason is because he didn't want a rotza. If he wanted, avu shaloi shilim, even though he didn't pay. Ela meholek l'mashma mina. So then there's nothing to be mashma from this. Fine. Tani Kavazid Rabbi Yochanan, Hasoicha Parah Mechaveira, Benignava. If we have a brisa that says like Rabbi Yochanan, if a guy rents a parah from his friends, Benignava, and it gets stolen. V'amar Halo Hareini Mishalim, and the shomer says, I will pay. Ve'eini Nishban, I'm not going to swear. V'achakach Nimtza Haganim, and the gun is found. V'shalim Tashum Mekefel, the surgery pays the Tashum Mekefel. This brisa just says he said he's going to pay. It doesn't say he paid. It said he's going. He said he's going to pay, and then he gets the kefil. Fine. Sum it up, Papa. Which would then tell you that if you're smart about being the shomer, then right off the bat you should tell the guy I'm going to pay. Then you could always change your mind later, which the Gemara is going to be on the bottom of it. I calls man that you're masupik what you're going to do here. Tell him, yeah, I'll pay. Like this, if they happen to find the ganim, you'll make yourself a few dollars. All right. Meaning, let's say it happened on a business on a Monday and a Thursday. So let's say it happened on a Thursday night. So it's kedai for you to just say, if you're the shomer, say, I'm going to pay. We'll go to Bezdin on Monday, I'll pay. And then hope that they find the ganav who shechted it. Right? And then you're going to make yourself a nice profit. I'm not saying you're going to get the Tzaddik of the Year award for doing this, but that would be the practical thing to do. Yeah. Fine. Fine. So Amar Papa, Shomer Chinam. The Papa says, "So Shomer Chinam, Kivan Sha'amar Pashati." Now again, this is going to go through all the different levels of Shomer. So a Shomer Chinam, who's really a Shomer Chinam, is potter from everything unless he's negligent, right? So Shomer Chinam, Kivan Sha'amar Pashati, since he said that he was a Pesheya, so he was negligent, so now he's Chayev, right? Makna lekfela, then they were maknit him the kefil. Why? The iboy potter nafshe beganeva. He could have just said I'm potter because he could have just said it got stolen. Meaning, again, he's watching it for free. The owner comes and says, "Okay, where's my animal that you took to watch?" And he says, "I'm sorry, I was negligent, and I have to pay for it." So, Mamela, he's going to get the kefil because he had the option to pater himself by saying it's we're gonna. Shomer Sacher, Kivan Shomer Nignava, a Shomer Sacher, since he says it got stolen, Makna like Feli, Makna the Kefam, the Iboy Potanashi Beshura Mesa. He could have been patered himself if he said it got broken, right? Or it died, in which case he's really potter from that. Shoyel, a borrower, Shoymer Hareini Mishalim. Now a Shoyel is chayiv for everything. Right? Shoyel is chayiv for everything except Mesa Machim Slalacha. If it dies while it's doing its regular work, then he's potter. Other than that, he's chayiv. So what option did the shoyel have here? So shoyel shomer hareini mishalim. If the shoyel says he's going to pay, loy makna like kfela, the owner is not giving him the kfela. Why? Because b'may havalei lemifta nafshe. What could have the shoyel, the borrower, made himself potter with? The mesa machmas v'lacha. The only thing he could have possibly said is that the animal that he was watching died because of the malacha. That is not a common thing. So since it's not common, the owner would never be makna anything because of that. So again, we have to understand the psychology of what's going on here. The shomer is willing to give over the kefil or the dalet vehei. I'm sorry, the owner is willing to give over the kefil or the dalet vehei to the shomer in lieu of the shomer not patering himself. He's so happy that the shomer is willing to pay. So he is willing to forego any potential gain from kefil and dalet v'hei. But that's only if the shomer had a viable option of which to make himself exempt. But a shoyel does not have a viable option to make himself exempt because he's chayiv for everything. Since he's a shnur, so he's chayiv on everything except if it's mesa machmas malacha. Okay, so maybe the shoyel could have pated himself from mesa machmas malacha. So that was saying, no, that's not common enough. So therefore, he would not have been able to. He can't just get away with saying, "Oh yeah, the animal died with as it was plowed." Fine. Ikeda Amri. There are those that say, "Amar Papa Shoyel Nami." Shoyel also Kivan Shomer Hareini Mishalim. Since he said, now this is a different pshat here. A shoyel also can be kinda the kefil and dalet v'hei. Kivan Shomer Hareini Mishalim. Since he said, "I'll pay," makni like failure, we give him the kefil. The e-boy potter nafshem mesa machmas malacha. He could have taka said it died while doing malacha.
How could you say mesa malacha? Show me the animal.
What?
Show me the dead animal.
Who says you're not showing that animal?
It was stolen.
We don't know that.
What do you have kefil for?
Doesn't what?
It's
A potential.
How's there a potential kefil if the animal's dead?
What do you mean?
Kefil
still, if it was stolen, if you could prove it was stolen, there's gonna be.
But if he's gonna
you
go
won't
ahead,
have dollar behave, Maskin. You won't have dollar behave.
But he's gonna go ahead and say it's Metzia Malacha.
Correct.
In order for it to be Metzia Malacha, the animal has to be here, right here, dead animal. If the animal is stolen, there's no animal here. There's a chance of kefil.
There is possible.
How?
If the guy stole the animal and it showed up dead.
Ruvain Lynch.
Or it was stolen after he died.
What do you mean?
Well, they could both be true. It could be dead and stolen at the same time. It's not Schrodinger's cat.
I don't know. Okay.
You hear what I'm asking?
I hear what you're asking. You'd have to fit it in.
Okay.
Fine. So we have a different pshatim whether the shoyl can pattern himself or not, theoretically. That's what I'm for, right? Shoyl achi yishalem. Abaye said a shoyl until he actually pays. He can't just say that he pays. He has to actually pay. Why? My time. Since the whole benefit of this transaction, it goes to the shoyl. So Mamela, he's maknit with stam bedibur. Fine. Tani Kavasei Rav Zid, and we have a brisa like Rav Zid Hashoyel param mechaveroi. Somebody who borrows a param from his friend, the nignava, and it gets stolen. The kidim Hashoyel b'shilim, and the shoyel gets up, goes and he pays, proactively goes and pays. But then the gana is found. Masham to shumei kefil. The shoyel has to pay the shumei kefil to the shoyel. So now. Lishna Kama the Rapapa Vadai Havi Tiyufta. According to Lishna Kama Rapapa, there's definitely no kasha from here, right? Because the Lishna Kama Rapapa says that the shoyel doesn't even get it at all. Lishna Basra, but according to the Lishna Basra, it says that the shoyel does get the kefil. Let's say this is a tiyufta, because you see that there is such a thing as a shoyel getting the kefil, and that's even if he says it, right? Right, even if he says it. So it's a kasha, because here it says he has to actually pay, not say. It's no stronger than our Mishnah. The Ketani Shilem, right? Our Mishnah also says the word Shilem. And what we say is Pshat Kimna Ba'amar. And we said it's somewhere where he says Achanami Ba'amar. So to here, it's where he says. So Marias Midami, Hasam Loikatani Kidim, Hachakatani Kidim. Our Mishnah, it's very nice. The Mishnah says the word Shilim, so we say it doesn't mean he actually paid, it means he wants to pay. Fine. But here it says Kidim V'Shilim. So that sounds like he actually paid. My kidim va'amar. Kidim means he got up and he said. It doesn't mean he got up and he paid. He got up and he said. So when I ask, gabi soicher va'amar v'gabi shoyel kidim. It says by the soicher. It says va'amar. He says v'gabi shoyel. It says kidim. Shmamina dafka katani. Sounds like it's dafka. So the Gemara says midi gabi hadadi ninu. Were these prices said together? Right? If they're two different prices, so then they don't necessarily have to align in the way they describe what went on here with the payment. Or answer Shailunu with Hanoi debei Rav Chia v'debei Rav Aishia, v'amri gabi hadadi tinenu. They were the Mekim. Rav Chia and Rav Aishia, they were the ones that established all the brises. So they said that these brises were set next to each other, therefore you can be medayik in the terminology. Fine. Now the Gemara starts with a bunch of other things. So Pshita, it's Pashut, Amar Eini Mishalim, if the Shomer says, I'm not paying, the Chazav Amar Hareini Mishalim, then he changes his mind and says, you know what, I don't want to make a shua, I really want to pay. So how Amar Hareini Mishalim? Then he said, Hareini Mishalim, therefore he's going to get the kefil if they find the gun. Elo Amar Hareini Mishalim, but let's say he says, I'm going to pay on top of base now. Because of Amar Hareini Mishalim, then he changes his mind and says, I'm not paying, which was my suggestion before. Right? Say you're going to pay, and then you could always change your mind. Then what would be the din? Will he get kefil now or not? Mi amrina mahadur kahadabe. Do we say he changed his mind? Because first he said he's going to pay, and then he said he's not going to pay. Really, he's keeping his word. He's pushing him up because he doesn't have the money. Right? Since he doesn't have the money, so then he's just kicking the can down the road, but really he does mean to pay. So he should get the kefil. That's question number one.
Kick down the road for?
I don't know until they force it. I guess till they make it. Yeah. Amar Harein Mishalim Mace. Let's say the guy says he's going to pay and then he dies. Ba'amru Banov, meaning the shomer dies. Ba'amru Banov ain't on a Mishalim. The kids say our father was a nice guy. He didn't want to pay, but we don't want to pay, and they certainly don't make a shvua because it wasn't their transaction. Do we say that the kids change their mind? No, they're going to keep their father's word. They're just pushing it off. They don't have to pay. Shala number 2. Shala number 3. Shilmu bonim. Let's say they did pay, right? Meaning they paid even though their father didn't say that he's going to pay. So then, what's it in? Matzi Amar Lahu. Can the owner say to them, Ki aknoi kfela, when I gave you kefel, that's I'm giving it to your father, because he did me nayach nafsha. He rested my nefesh. Literally means he helped me out because he watched the animal for me. So with Mela, I'm willing to give him the kefil if that's the way that presents itself. But to you, no way. You didn't do anything to me. Why should I give you the kefil?
They paid him.
They paid him, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I do no. Or do we say no? It makes no difference. As long as the guy pays, the guy pays. That's Shaila number 3. Shaila number 4. Shilim lebanim mai. Let's say the owner died. Like till now, the watchman died. Now the owner died. Right. So mai. What's it in? Matzu amrale. Can he tell the shomer ki achnilach avuna kfela? When our father had a mind to give you kefil, the v'adat le'nayach nafshay. He did it because you did him a favor. But us to you, right? What did you do for us? It makes no difference. Fine. Shilmu banim lebanim. Then what about if the kids pay the kids? Just an extension of that question. Can we say the same thing? Fine. Shile Metzia. Let's say the shomer paid half. Right? Meaning he said, I'm going to pay half. I'm going to be a nice guy. I could really swear, maybe potter completely, but I want to be a nice guy, so I'm going to pay half. Right? So that means, is he going to give half the kefil to him or not? So what's the din? Shal shtei paras. Let's say he borrowed 2 paras for shilim achas man, and he paid 1. So then what's the din? Right? So then again, it's a similar to being metzia, but it's a little different because here it's an entire shor. Shal min ashutvim. If he borrowed from shutvim, v'shilim le'echrim, he paid 1 of them. What's the din? Shutvim sheshalu. What about partners that borrow v'shilim echrim? One partner decides to pay. What would be the din? Shal min ha'isha v'shilim le'bayla. Let's say he borrowed from a woman. Right. This gets into the whole nechse sign milug. Right, when it's talking about that he borrowed from the nechse milug, right, which is that the property belongs to her and the payers go to the husband. So shomer isha v'shilim lebayla, and then he goes and pays it to the husband. What's the din? Or the opposite, isha shashola, if a woman borrowed, right, meaning she borrowed something because she needed it to maintain the property, and then shilim bayla, and then her husband paid. So what's the din? So that's the whole slew of questions, and then we go with teku. So we don't know. So the chayra, then you have to be machor. You say mamon multiple suffix. I'm not exactly sure how you pass in all these shilas. Fine.
See, Yaakov, where's the Where's the Kenyan if it's the children? Where's like the Das Makna at that point?
Is it through Yerusha?
I mean, they didn't have Das in the original Mashiach.
It ends up in Teku. It gets so complicated from this one from that one. There's also be a Teku.
Huh?
Why? The amount of if it it's not that it is a Kenyan. The original owner made the Kenyan. Was Makmet.
Right, but if you go like the other sheet, it's Samach L'Gnei.
It's still the same Geneva, the same Kenyan. The Kenyan is the Mashiach then, but it works later.
No, it works by the. It's not then. It's later. That was and the owner's dead at that point.
Who said he died before the Gneva?
Well, it's mash. It would be right before the Geneva, and it's mash when the children are there when the Geneva happens.
Well, why? They didn't want the kefir. The guy was found after he died.
The way Rashi explains it is that the children are there when the Geneva happens.
Right. I don't know. I thought it would be. I thought it'd be through Yerusha, but it could be. I don't know. Okay, let's see. So Amar Rav Huna. So now Rav Huna says, I promise that this next kasha after this is going to be a long one. Okay, we'll do it. Amar Rav Huna. Mashpiyan oisa shvua she'ena b'reshusa. See, it's very nice that this guy wants to pay, but how do we know that this guy didn't become jealous and say, you know what, I got an easy way of getting myself a nice animal. This animal's a beautiful animal. We get along with each other. Let me just hide it and say it got stolen. I'll say, even though I'm potter, I'll pay for it anyways. I look like a big tzaddik. I got myself a free animal, and I paid for it too, right? So because of that concern, we're going to make him make a shvua that it's not in his rishus, right? So Omer Ravuna Mashpiyana is a shvua she'ena b'rishus. In my time, mechashina sheme'enav nosam ba. We're choshed that he put his eyes onto it, and since he put his eyes onto it, maybe he's going to be chayiv. He's going to be. That's why he's making up this baloney story. He gets to buy himself something. So Meisvei. Now this kasha is going to last us for the rest of the Omer. Meisvei hamavas chaveri ala mashkin. Let's say somebody lends a friend on a mashkin, meaning a guy lends somebody money and the guy gives him back a mashkin. Now that mashkin does not necessarily have to be the equivalent price of the loan. It could be more, it could be less, or it could be the same. Right? I mean, you could have borrowed $100. The guy says, "Listen, give me your watch." Oh, your watch is worth $1,000. So what? Right? So now a guy lends somebody on a mashkin, and then the mashkin got lost. So now the tables are turned because now the lender is going to ask. Normally, the borrower goes after the lender. Here, the lender is going after the borrower and says, "I gave you collateral. Where is it?" Yeah. So
the borrower is going after the lender.
No, the lender is going to, the borrower here is going after the lender. Yeah. Normally the borrower goes after
the lender goes after the borrower.
Normally the lender goes after the borrower. Here the borrower is going after the lender. Yes, thank you. Normally Allah, and he says to him, I lent you a seller, shekel hayeshava, and it was worth a shekel, right, which is a half of a seller. And the borrower says, Loiki ela sela hilbisani. Allah, you lent me a sela hayeshava, and the collateral was a sela, and therefore potter, I'm potter. Right? Meaning the borrower is saying the collateral is worth the exact same money as the loan. So the loan gets wiped out because the lender lost the collateral. And the what do you call it is saying and the lender is saying, no, the collateral is worth half. So you owe me half. That's case number one. Case number two, the lender says, I lent you a seller. Shekel hayeshava, it was worth a shekel. So the other one says, meaning the borrower says, it was worth 3 dinrim. So now meaning which is more than the loan. So he says, I owe you 1 dinar. In that case, he's chayiv because he's moider b'mikzas. He's moider that he owes him something. Those are the first 2 cases. Case number 3, selvi yisani alav. Guy says, you lent me a seller, beis hayeshava, which was worth 2 seller. right? And I lent you a seller, and this thing was worth a seller, so it's potter. He's potter. Selva visani alav. If the borrower says, "You lent me a seller, shnayim hayashava," it was worth 2 seller. So mamela, you lost it, so you owe me 1 seller. I lent you a seller, hey dinrim hayashava, which was worth 5 dinrim. So he only owes 1, so chayiv is chayiv. So the Gemara says, "Mi nishba," who swears? Misha b'kadon etzlai. The b'kadon, the one who the b'kadon belongs to. Shema yishava zeh, because maybe this one's going to swear for yotzei us b'kadon, and this one's going to take out the b'kadon again. So who is the one that's swearing? The one who had the b'kadon, the collateral, and who was that? That's the lender. Shema yishava zeh, because what's going to happen? Maybe the lender is going to hide the collateral, and the borrower is going to swear, right, that he gave him this collateral which is worth whatever amount of money, and then after he swears, he's going to take it to B'kadon and show that it was not worth the amount of money that the loiva said. In which case, now we just lost a yid to Pasal Eidos because he swore falsely. Right.
So this case would be a shuas and Neiflin, and in the second case where it's a Maidim Mixas.
I think it would be Maidim Mixas is chayav anyways, right?
Right, but the shua gets flipped to the lender.
Well, yes, we're basically flipping it to the lender.
So in order for him to get the dinner, he'd be making a shua.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Didn't we say keep it shehigi ain't a shoyve who chayzu magid? So he said, why would they take his second testimony? Why don't they say, "Oh, that's it"? Why even listen to him?
What do you mean?
Because he first said it's lost or whatever. He said it's lost or stolen, right? So that he's made it's not there anymore. It's a pagadon, right? So now the guy decides. Guy makes the shvu, and the borrower makes the borrower makes the shvu that it was worth a certain amount. So now so the lender turns around and he says, "Oh, here it is. It's really worth that much or this much. Why do we let him? Why do we let him be give this again?"
No, that's not the shvua here.
What do you mean?
The shvua is that he doesn't have it. Not how much it's worth.
Right, but we're afraid that he's going to take it out.
We lost 2 yidden here.
No, we're not going to lose 2 yidden. We'll lose 1.
We lost 2. The lender said he doesn't have it.
Correct.
He lost it. He lied because he's pulling it out now. And the other guy lied how much it's worth.
No, right.
We
So the Gemara is really going to ask that on Amud Aleph. What Naftali is asking. Why are we choshed that the lender might end up becoming Pasal Eidos? Right?
Why can't we have the story from before?
Which is what?
When we started this Gemara,
that's exactly what we're going to be asking about.
Right?
So we didn't hit the kasha yet. But this is so far the cases. There's 4 cases.
Okay.
2 are Maidim Mixas, 2 are not.
Why are we making the
so we're saying we make the
malva,
swear. We make the malva swear. So now let's go back. Say, hey, so which case are we going on that the malva swears? If it's going on the seifa, meaning the last case is typically the shul gabi malvahi, right? Maybe why do you say the reason why the shul is by malva the hakamaydim makes us a taina, like sort of what Akiva was saying. He's maidim a mixas, right? Since a guy is maidim a mixas, he has to make a shul on the rest, or pay, or whichever, but shul for sure. Elam or shul aresha, so it can't be. So it's going on the resha. Maya ratio, which case of the ratio? A sefer the ratio. It's going on the sefer the ratio, which is case number 2, which is what? Selva v'sichala. The lender says, I lent you money on a seller, shekel hayashava. I'm sorry, I lent you a seller. It was worth a shekel. And the borrower says, no. Loiki ela seller hilmisani love. You lent me a seller, shloisha dinrim hayashava. And it was worth 3 dinrim. right? Right. So therefore, he's maida that he owes him one. So chayev, he's chayev the shvua gabi loivahu. He's chayev because the shvua goes to the loiva, since he's a maida mixus. V'amar rabbanon, and then the rabbanon say no. The shtava malva, the malva should swear shemi shava zevi yoytalas begoda, because if the malva doesn't swear, meaning the lender doesn't swear, then maybe the borrower will swear about the collateral, and then the loiva will swear about the collateral, and then the malva will come take it out. Now, okay, so what's the kasha of the im on Talmud Aleph now? The im isa the Rav Huna, and if Rav Huna's right that the lender is going to bring it out afterwards, given the mishtava malva she'ena b'reshusay, exactly what Naftali was saying. Since the malva swore that it's not his reshus, so how's he going to take it out? Right? So it must be that we don't make the guy make a shvur like Rav Huna said. No, so Marava sheyesh edim shenisrfa. There were edim that it got burnt. So Mela, we're not worried about the malva taking it out. In which case, the obvious question is, well, if it's edim that it got burnt, so then what are we worried where he's taking it from? We have edim that it got burnt. There were edim that it got stolen. The Gemara says, okay, if there are edim that it got stolen, so where is he bringing it from? So the Gemara answers the Torah Chumaisila. He's going to be matriach himself. He's going to find it. Meaning there were edim taka that it got stolen, but the malva might make himself meshuga and try and find the thing that got stolen. So the Gemara says, okay, if that's the case, ihachi ki mishtava malva nami l'troch loiva v'loisi. So now you're saying that the malva is going to swear. So now the loiva is going to go swear and bring it in and disprove the malva, right? Meaning if it's out there somewhere, so then maybe the loiva will get it. So Gemara answers, Bishlam a malva yoda man ka'ayal b'novi v'beisei. Malva knows who's coming and going out of his house, and so he knows who to be choshed whether they stole it from him. He's going to be matriach himself to bring it. Again, the collateral was in the malva's reshus. So the loiva has no idea who was coming and going. So he has no idea where to even start his investigation. So therefore, we're not concerned that the loiva is going to find the collateral and disprove the malva. But we are concerned that the malva will find the collateral and disprove the loiva. Baya has a different time. No, the guy's going to say, the lender is going to say to the borrower, I found it after I took the shvua. Right? Meaning we're not going to be worried that the lender lied. We're just afraid that he taka found it afterwards. So there's no chashash lying. Rav Ashi Omer Zen Nishma v'Zen Nishma. So Rav Ashi says different shot. They both have to swear. Zen Nishma she'ena b'reshusay. This one swears it's not as reshus. Zen Nishma kama yeshava. And this one has to swear how much of it's worth. Ba'achi kama. Mi Nishma tchila. The whole shaila is who gets to swear first. Malva Nishma tchila shema yeshava zeh v'yotzelas tikadan. The Malva swears first because maybe if he doesn't, then maybe the borrower is going to swear, and then the lender is going to bring out the pekadon, and therefore is going to end up disproving the entire money of the entire aegis of the loiva. Okay, we'll stop there. We'll say a till, and we're going to run to Meyer.